Hey everyone, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to create this gorgeous glowy bronzy, slightly orangey glam, and it's so easy to do, and I pretty much used all like affordable makeup products too. So here I'm just taking the Sally Hansen Legs, which is one of my all-time favourite beauty products at the moment. I've literally been using this for months now and I'm obsessed with it. Just applying that all over my chest and arms, and then taking my Pink Honey brow glue and just sticking down my eyebrows. I kind of like my brows a little bit more fluffier looking, so I'm taking a wee spoolie and just running that through. And then I'm just taking my finger to press down my eyebrows just to give it that like laminated effect, and then just going around the edges with a wee wipe just to make sure there's no excess product. And then here I'm priming my skin. This is sort of like a moisturising primer. It's the, you know, the Vitamin Enriched face base from Glowy Brown. Well, this is like the dupe of it from Primark, and it's only $4.50 and it's amazing. If you guys see this in Primark, I would totally recommend it. And then the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, I've been using this for ages now too. It's so good. It leaves your skin feeling really sticky, meaning that then whenever you put your foundation on top, it's going to really stick and hold down and last a really long time as well. So then I'm going in with my Collection Filter Flawless, or Filter, what's this called? Filter Finish. Glowy type of product. It's like a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and it's so good. I use the shade medium just to give my skin a wee bit of a colour as well as that glowy effect. I think it's so pretty, and even on days whenever I don't wear makeup, I'll just wear this by itself and it's so good. And like I said, it is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, so you're going to be saving yourself a fortune as well. So here I'm just taking the P. Louise base in 02 to carve out the tops of my eyebrows, because I want around my brow bone to be a wee bit more highlighted, so that's why I'm using the lighter shade. And then I'm just taking a fluffier brush with the 03 shade on my eyelid, and then patting that all over. And I always like to apply my eye base like quite far out, like kind of like on my temple area, just because I will smoke out the eyeshadow out into that area after, and then whenever I do my foundation, it all just blends in together. Then using a little angled brush and the cocoa powder from Pink Honey in soft brown just to lightly fill in my eyebrows. I only really fill in the little sparse areas and then just kind of like flick the powder up and throughout my brows. I don't really like my eyebrows being too intense. So yeah, doing that, and then I'm taking the Be Perfect Carnival Antidote palette. I love this palette so much. I'm taking a big massive fluffy brush and I'm taking the shade Buff, which is like a light warm tone brown, and just buffing this all throughout the crease area, dragging it out onto my temple area and also around like the inside of like my nose in the inner corner, just to kind of give like my nose a slight like contoured effect. And you can see I'm just smoking it right out. I'm taking this shade here called Fawn, which is a little bit darker than the first colour I used, on a clean brush, and just applying this to the outer corner, and again just winging it out to blend in with that buff shade. I'm now taking this gorgeous shimmery bronzy shade from that same palette and just patting it on my eyelid with my finger initially, and then I go in with that there Fawn colour on that same fluffy brush and just patting the two shades together to get that really seamless blend. And then I also go in with the shade Dove into my inner corner, which is like a matte creamy shade just to really brighten up the inner corner. And then here just going back in to smoke it out at the edges with that first brush that I used. And then here I'm taking the Polar Vortex highlighter from Be Perfect. It's in the shade 32 Fahrenheit. I'm just applying a little bit of that at the brow bone, just to make my brow bone pop and just to give it like a lifted effect. Then just curling my lashes, applying some mascara. And then for my lashes today, I'm actually using the style 1111 from my lash collection, which will be live on my website this time next week. So I'll keep you guys updated on my Instagram stories. But these lashes are so gorgeous. They're perfect for like everyday wear, and they're just little half lashes. So they just sit there on the outer corners, and they're just so gorgeous. They give your eye such a nice like subtle winged out effect. I love them so much. I was just doing a little bit of spot concealing there on my blemishes with a NARS concealer, but you can pretty much use whatever concealer you have. For my foundation, I'm taking the L'Oreal True Match in Golden Beige, and I actually mixed a little bit of the True Match Plumping Tinted Serum in Tan Deep in with it, just to make the shade a little bit darker, just to match my neck and stuff. Just applying that with a wee flat brush, and then going in with my favourite ever sponges. I use these all the time on myself. They are the Pink Honey Flutter Baby sponges. You get them in like a little 2-pack. It has a pink one and a wee yellow one, and the shape of them are so good. And once you dampen them too, oh my god, they're so soft. And then of course doing some cream contour. I love this step, like cream bronzer and cream contour. It just looks so nice, and it just adds a little bit of colour back into your I'm just patting this around my temple area, my jawline, my cheekbone. And whenever I do like winged out eyeshadow looks like this, I always like to apply quite a bit on my temple area, especially just around the edges of where the eyeshadow sort of like blows out, because it kind of just pulls out the eyes even more and makes it look even more smokier and winged out as well. So that's what I always do. So I'm just patting this in with that brush, and then I'm going to go back in with my Pink Honey sponge again just to do some further patting to make sure everything's nice and patted in, of course, and blended. And by using a sponge like to constantly pat in your makeup, it's going to make it last a long time because you're really just merging all the products together and pressing it right into the skin. And then here I'm taking the HMB Cosmetics concealer and just applying it underneath my eyes along the edge of the eyeshadow to really sort of like cut that area and to highlight sort of against where the eyeshadow is. And again, it just helps to give you that really like pulled out effect. And I'm just using the Pink Honey sponge again just to pat all that in. I use the shade, it is SF2W in the HMB Cosmetics concealer. It's so good, and if you get it on TikTok shop, I think it's only like £8 or something. And then to set my under eyes, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me powder with that same sponge again and just patting that underneath my eyes. And this powder just gives you like a real life filter. It just smooths over all your pores and like your texture underneath the eyes and stuff. And then here I'm taking the P. Louise Pro Pan, you know, like the bronzers. I'm using the shade Peanut Passion, pretty much just to intensify where I done my cream bronzer earlier. I'm just patting it around my forehead, temple area, down my jawline, cheekbones, on my chin, and across my nose as well. And then taking this gorgeous pink matte blush from Makeup Revolution. It's in the shade Pink Lady, and it's so gorgeous. A matte blush is just absolutely stunning, especially with a look like this where your under eyes are really brightening. I just love it. I'm just putting that across my nose too because I think it gives like a nice little like sunburned effect. It's so pretty. And then here I'm taking the Celestial Light powder from Laura Mercier. I know this is a little bit more high end, but it is stunning on the skin. Like, look at that glow. Like, it just looks like your skin is glowing. Like, it doesn't look really artificial or nothing. But I love this powder. It's so lovely. Just applying it on all the high points on my face with a little small fluffy brush on my nose and on the tip of my nose and above my lip. And then I just went in with a little bit of lower lash mascara. Whenever I do eye looks like this, I always love to leave the lower lash line just bare of any product because it still keeps like the brightness in your eyes and doesn't make it look too smoky. And it sort of makes it look more of like a daytime glam look rather than something maybe that you would wear at night or whatever. But of course you could go in and add like darker colours like on your lower lash line. But here I'm just lining my lips with the Sweet Tea lip liner from Morphe, which is like my go-to. I love this so much. It's like a gorgeous like brownie shade, and I'm just sort of filling in the edges of my lips as well. And then I'm taking the Be Perfect liquid lipstick in Stalkers and just applying this in the centre of my lip. It looks really crazy at first, but then once you take a brush and just sort of pat it in, it looks like gorge. It's like my favourite like nude combo for a look like this. And yeah, I'm obsessed with it. And then for the gloss on my lips, I have been using this product non-stop recently. It's so good, and they're kind of like a dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bombs. It is the Revolution Pout Bomb. It's a plumping lip gloss, and I use the shade Kiss. It's kind of like a pinky sort of shade, but you can't really see the pink on it, but it just gives your lips such a gorgeous finish. I love it. And then here I'm taking the e.l.f. Micro Fine Setting Mist, just saturating my skin with that, and then taking a big fluffy brush just to pat all that in, just to make sure that the setting mist is merging with all the products that we've used. But yeah, this is pretty much the final look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and comment down below and let me know your thoughts and what other looks you'd like me to do. And if you have any questions, just send me a wee DM or just comment below.